So to say someone should buy 3, 4, 5, 6 in one hit or in a 12-month period, that is really taking them to the red line. And then for them to sell them to end up with the same net is let's break down why they're doing that. Because they're getting 6 commissions. They might be putting it into their own development company, so they're getting 6 developer margins. They're probably using their own finance company, so they're getting 6 upfront loan fees. They're getting 6 times the value of the property in terms of an ongoing trail from the mortgage book. So you can see that they're actually doubling or tripling their earnings in a very, very short period of time, whilst you take on unnecessary risk and over-leverage yourself.
I don't care what you do individually, but if you then start to spruik your message in terms of this is how I did it, and you're trying to tell a message for thousands of people to do exactly, well, it's just not possible. It's not possible that in the next 2 or 3 years that tens of thousands of people can acquire 6 properties each and then sell them all off. So they've got it. It's just not practical. So what you are potentially going to see is the spread of that in terms of mitigating risk as part of that particular story. So that tactic for me just brings alarm bells for a lot. But if you're willing to take the risk and lose everything, then maybe that might be a strategy for you. But I would be very cautious in any of that advice.
So that's one of the tactics where they over inflate the amount of transactions that you need to do in order to achieve your goal versus the slow and steady wins the race. That's one. Number 2, Ben, is the debt-free illusion. The how do you pay off your home quickly? Who doesn't want to? That's a wonderful hook. Like, who doesn't want to pay off their home in 7 years and do it really, really quickly?
It's really clear that there's a couple of basic tactics. The first one, and this is the secret until you get to their masterclass or 2-day workshop or whatever, is actually sell assets that you don't use. So, in this particular case, they were talking about selling watches, selling push bikes, motorbikes, golf clubs, whatever it might be, and just clear off all of your assets and just park all the money in your mortgage. That's number one. But then the second part of that, because this is this promise of, debt-free in 7 to 10 years, this is where it gets interesting. So once they've sort of told you about that, they then say, well, what about property investing, where we get an enormous amount of tax deductions and ultimately we get all this depreciation and all of these other things. So we can actually make these properties positively geared.
Oof.
So what they'll do is, and if you do your own research and find competitive builders in the same location offering similar products, you will find that the price that you pay on that particular property will be overs in terms of, like, you can't negotiate the price, remember? So first of all, it's non-negotiable. That's
stock
the
list.
price.
Take it or leave it. There's the price.
Take it or leave it. Someone else is going to buy it if you don't. We don't care. It's okay. You can all of those sales tactics. But the reality is, if they are $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 above market price, we've talked about this before, where they have a rental guarantee. So they'll meet the difference in terms of the renter that they put in there for you. They have to manage it too, by the way. And then they supplement that income. So it looks like it's positively geared in the first, so it's from day one. So all of a sudden now you're getting an extra $30, $40, $50, $60, $100 a week. That's then, so let's model that, $100 a week. And then, so now rinse and repeat. Let's buy 3 of them. Let's buy 4 of them. And so all of a sudden you can start to see your principal place of residence mortgage being paid off. And you've got all of these additional assets that are going to grow in value. And then that's how they do it. So they effectively promote this story around positively geared properties that accelerate the pay down of your non-deductible debt, because all the rent from those properties, and we do believe in this, all the rent from any property should go into your primary account.
Yep.
In terms of your not. So that's real, that's true. But then what happens at the end of that 3rd year or 5th year of rental guarantees? Everyone in that block, everyone in that suburb that all of these Spruiker properties were sold in, there's a glut of renters leaving market, and then there's vacancy rates and your rents drop significantly, and all of a sudden the value of the property's gone down, and it didn't value up at market price. And then when they talk about, well, what's the guarantee? This is my other little favorite, Bryce. We'll guarantee that it will come in at contract price. Guarantee. We'll absolutely guarantee it for you. Now, they do that, but what actually happens if the builder goes broke? Because effectively with every one of these construction programs that they do. And remember, there's over 1,600 builders that have gone broke in the last 12 to 18 months. So what do? Well, that was a guarantee, not by us. We didn't make the guarantee because we want the guarantee with the company who's selling them, not the guarantee in terms of who's building them. So if they do that with the builder and the builder goes broke, all of a sudden it's like, well, it wasn't our guarantee. We're really sorry in terms of what that looks like. So it's really, really important in terms of understanding where all of these risks lie, because like, no, we'll guarantee it'll stack up. And it's like, is it your guarantee? So I have that in writing from your company. And we've even seen these spruiking companies also collapsing on themselves, exactly doing that, where there was too many of those guarantees. All of the properties in the off the plan developments have gone backwards by 60, 80 grand. And so they just close shop and you just can't get in contact with them. And no one basically comes to the party. But you're still required, when the solicitors ring you, to settle on the contract.
Important point alert, folks. Let's just summarize what Ben said. Market value, they put a premium on top. That premium is actually what you're paying to them to pay back to you in the form of a guarantee to get the positive cash flow. Because if you've done any research in property in this country, it is very difficult to get positive cash flow and capital growth without sort of getting into short-term lending markets and higher risk strategies. So the fact that they can do it on a mass scale should be the red flag anyway. But just again, market value, premium, you're paying a premium just to get your money back so that you can create the illusion that you're positive cash flow. And then you are putting that on your mortgage, but you've got to well and truly hope that investment stacks up, because if it doesn't, when you're paying a premium, there's no scarcity, you're probably overpaying. Chances are you've absolutely robbed Peter, Phil, Wendy, everyone just to pay Paul.